Welcome to the Exceptional Sales Leader Podcast with Darren Mitchell. If you're a sales leader looking to take your leadership to a whole new level, then this is the podcast for you. We'll be exploring tips, techniques, and strategies to help you take your leadership to the exceptional level and allow you to enjoy more money, more meaning, and better sales results. Welcome back to the Exceptional Sales Leader Podcast, and Darren Mitchell here on what is a beautiful winter's Tuesday, and I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by Senthil Subramanian, all the way from Morning, New South Wales.
Thanks for having me as well, Darren. Yeah.
Now, how did I go? Because I was practicing this before you pressed record and before you jumped onto Zoom. How did I go with the pronunciation?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
So do you like to be referred to as Senthil Kumar or Senthil?
Yeah, Senthil. Just short. Yeah.
Just Senthil.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Senthil, you are the founder at SEO with Senthil. Been running your own business for the last 10 years, been through some ups and downs and come out the other side. And we're going to talk about all things SEO, but also business and particularly failure and mistakes in business. So I think it's very important that as business people, as salespeople, as sales leaders, there is no success without some form of challenge, some form of obstacle, dare I say it, some form of failure. So I'm very much looking forward to this conversation. So as I normally do at the start of most podcasts with most of my guests, love to get a little bit of background on the man who is Senthil, your background and what got you into business and entrepreneurship, what you're doing today.
So I started in entrepreneurship back in my university. So I was in this minor in entrepreneurship program where a group of me and my university friends, we had to start a business, and we thought of starting this notebook customization business where we were customizing these paper notebooks and we were trying to sell it individually. And what happened was that we struggled to find customers because even though in a survey, a lot of respondents said that, they would love to customize paper notebooks, when it came to actually forking out the cash and making the purchases, we didn't get much sales. And I'm sure you know that if you don't have sales, then you don't have a business.
That's it.
So towards the end of this minor in entrepreneurship program, one of my co-founders, he thought, why not, instead of doing selling notebooks individually, we sell notebooks in bulk. We do notebook printing, t-shirt printing, and this was very heavily in demand by corporates, by schools. So thankfully, I had also, my dad had signed me up for some SEO bootcamp a couple of months ago, where I learned these SEO skills. So I volunteered to take on the website and the SEO part of things. And for the next 1 to 2 years, I put all my energy into getting our Google rankings up. So by the time I graduated from university, we were getting so many inquiries for our t-shirt printing services that we had to hire a team to manage these incoming inquiries. Yep. So that was my one of my first businesses, was this t-shirt printing company. And then after that, we even pivoted into an art studio where we allow families, friends, and a lot of corporate teams to come to our art studio and paint on t-shirts, tote bags, and even sneakers. So it's called art jamming. I'm not sure if you have heard of it. And art jamming is usually done on canvases, but we decided to bring it into materials that we wear daily, like t-shirts, tote bags, sneakers. And again, we used SEO. And again, we got a very good start. And we were even planning to scale. And this was right before COVID. So and then COVID hit, and we were so heavily reliant on these big groups coming in, especially these corporate teams for corporate team bonding activities, that once COVID hit and the lockdown started, our revenue was hit by over 80-90%. And because of that, we had to close down our studio, and my whole team left me during that period. I had to pivot the business online, and it was also a period where I was reflecting a lot on whether this was something I wanted to do after the pandemic got over. And that's how I came to this, because I realized that I myself, I don't do art. I'm not an art person.
Yeah.
And what would give me more meaning and more fulfillment is using my strength in search engine optimization, SEO marketing, to help other businesses to grow their business, because there's so many businesses out there that are struggling to get their first leads, their sales, to scale. Especially, many businesses, they are stuck at just like $1,000 or a few $1,000, and they want to scale. So SEO marketing is a great way for them to do that. So I thought that after COVID was over, my plan was to sell off my art studio and start SEO with Senthil. And I couldn't sell it immediately, but I still started my SEO company. And then a couple of months later, a partner who was working with me, he decided to buy over the company. So I managed to sell off my art studio, and now I'm fully dedicated to SEO with Senthil and helping business owners grow their business with SEO.
Love it. Love it. And so there's so much we can delve into through that, because I think for most of us, if you look at COVID, nobody really expected it to happen. Nobody really expected it to be as big as it was or have as much of a lasting impact on business. And look, for some businesses, they thrived because they just happened to be in the right business that could take advantage of that situation. But
Okay.
if you're in the physical space where you're required and relied on people coming to the facility to run workshops, it was devastating. I know from my own experience, overnight there was about 6 months worth of facilitation workshops that just disappeared.
Wow.
And it's like, and there was nothing. There was literally nothing, and the future looked really bleak. All you could see literally was a cliff. Well, that's nothing. It's just dark clouds and a cliff. If you
Yeah.
look back on, because I'd love to delve into the SEO part as well in terms of what you learnt through the bulk of the notebooks and stuff. If you look back on that experience, what was the biggest, I guess, lesson for you that has now enabled you to, I guess, catapult forward in your business?
So there were actually quite a number of lessons that I learned through that whole episode. Not just the art studio itself and the COVID-19, but even during my t-shirt printing company when I was growing that. Um, and the very first lesson was not to obsess over chasing after money and just trying to expand quickly,
Yeah,
because when you do that, sometimes you tend to do that at the cost of your health, at the cost of your relationships. It gets and worst of all, you do that at the cost of your productivity, right? When your health takes a hit, and you are working like 12 hours or 14 hours a day, you are not productive, and
yeah,
you're not creative. You're not doing the right things. You're taking wrong decisions. So both for my t-shirt printing company, we even took a business loan because we were trying to expand quicker, and we tried to insource our printing services. So, and we thought that we are going to get a government grant, because in Singapore they have a lot of grants, and we thought, wow, okay, we can tap on this grant and recoup our printing equipment expenses.
yeah,
So we went ahead, we spent close to I think $40,000 on printing equipment, and we applied for the grant because we had to spend first before we could apply, and then we didn't get the grant. We appealed, we didn't get the grant. And yeah, that was the first hit. And then we kind of overhired staff. We did not because one of the key elements to winning in business is to have a strong differentiation or unique selling point that your customers truly value.
mm,
And the t-shirt printing company, we didn't have that. We tried to crack our heads to find something unique, but was it something that the customers valued? because many of the people who were finding us on Google, they were finding other companies as well on Google. So if the only thing we were competing was based on price, then they might just go to the cheapest provider.
Yeah.
So it didn't give us the edge. So that was another learning point as well, that you should always have a differentiating factor to for your customers to choose you over your competitors. And yeah, the loans part, that went crazy, because during COVID and before we opened the art studio, we also renovated our art studio. We wanted to make it fancy, and we spent a lot of money, and then COVID happened. So that's another thing. Like I think with online business today, you don't need to go into so much of heavy debt to start a business or even to scale a business.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, physical space businesses do have the demand as well, but um, I feel that if you're just starting out and you don't have that much capital on hand, then ideally you don't want to go into debt.
No.
Yeah, so that was another lesson. Um, and yeah, back to the businesses, my art studio, my printing company. Like I told you, another thing that I felt very strongly about when I moved over to my SEO business is to find a business or any project that you're starting on. Find something that truly resonates with you, even if it takes you some time. Like, make sure that it's something that excites you, because business is hard. Like every single business I've done till now, like all of them had challenges, but the one that you're going to stick through the longest is the one that you are really excited about and you are passionate about. So yeah, that was my biggest lesson.
And if I could draw a parallel, because there'll be people listening to this who are in their own business, but there's also people who'll be listening to this who are working for somebody. They might be part of a sales team, might even be leading a sales team, and they're thinking, do I really love this role? And do I really love this company? And look, we all go through stages where you're not necessarily resonating, and there might be sometimes a values mismatch between what you value and what the company values. But it's so important to find what's important to you and what keeps you moving and what's
Yeah,
going to keep you moving, because there'll be peaks and troughs, as you have found out.
even if you're working, like you're spending so much of your life working, like almost like 8 hours a day. So you want to be like, if even if you're a salesperson, you want to be selling something that you like, that you believe in,
Hmm.
right? And the more you match up to whatever you're selling, and the more content you feel with the work you're doing, it is going to reflect in other areas of your life as well, not just your your career itself. It's going to reflect in your health, in your relationships. So it's so much more than just a job.
It is, absolutely. And so there's a couple of things I want to ask you around that. One of them is mindset, and the other one is trying to come up with unique value propositions. Because I know you mentioned your t-shirt business there, and that was quite challenging to come up with that. As a business person, how important did you find mindset and just being really clear so that you could be, I guess, productive and effective? Because I know that as a business person, you are wholly and solely responsible for creating the demand out there. It's not like you can just slacken off and you're gonna get paid every single week, etc., etc. From your perspective, how important is mindset for you, and what have you learned around that in your career?
So this is very interesting, because when I first started out in business back in my university, I thought mindset was just like completely useless. I thought all I needed was strategy, all I needed was like some secrets here and there. And then as I did business, the more I did business, the more I realized that mindset is actually so important. And it's also such a coincidence that the first time I encountered a program related to mindset. I had actually got it from my then girlfriend, now wife. She was having a bit of a little bit of depression around that period, and I thought, oh, like this program, Unleash the Power Within, like can really help her, like in terms of being more positive and things like that. And
Yeah.
since she was going for that, I thought, I will go along, I will tag along with her. So that was my very first exposure, and during that 3 days, I was just blown away by the value that Tony Robbins gave,
Mm.
and even when he was sharing about business or other aspects, he says that 80% of the business success is dependent on the psychology, on the mindset of the business owner. And today, when I think about it, I think Tony Robbins is absolutely right. Yeah. So it is just, there's so many important values, right? It's patience, it's focus, it's having that consistency, not giving up, the resilience. It's being humble to seek the help from the mentors that can help you, coaches, mentors, and yeah, there are so many things, and a lot of these elements, they are all linked to psychology and mindset.
Mm. It's interesting you say that 80% of business success depend on the mindset of the person. It's because I look at that and in the marketplaces that I typically deal with, which is a lot of the corporate space, I see a lot of salespeople almost defeated before they go in and see a sales on a sales call, and they wonder why they're not getting the outcome that they were hoping because they haven't started to reprogram what's happening between their ears. And it's the small things. It's the self-talk that you have. It's the letters you write to yourself. It's the words you use. It's the thinking patterns and how you use your language. It can't be underestimated. And it's interesting you said that back in university days you thought, just give me a strategy, give me a process, and the world's going to be my oyster. But
Yeah.
then you quickly find out that, you know what, it's a lot of it is your mindset, and you just have to look at elite sports today. A lot of I guess, the experts in those sports will often say to you that if you have two talented teams, what's the difference between the two teams? It's their mindset and their application of that mindset. So it cannot be underestimated. With that, though, I know you mentioned the Power Within and Tony Robbins 3-day events. We're not certainly not promoting Tony Robbins here, but it's really, really powerful in terms of mindset and psychology around success. Um, are there any specific strategies that you have employed, particularly if you go back to the dark days where your businesses were doing over $1 million, COVID hit, all your people left you, you went into debt, because it's when things are going really well that mindset doesn't seem to be an issue. It's when things are going really badly or not as well as expected that mindset really kicks in. So, can you
Yeah.
talk to me about any specific things that you've either done yourself or maybe that you've helped your wife with in relation to that's helped you, I guess, get through the valleys?
I think one of the first things, this one I think I've done myself, is that I have been resilient even during those challenging times. But when things were a bit more comfortable, I did not push my mind hard enough. Like I just settled. Like I just thought, yeah, I'm doing my best, like this is probably what the business can do. Yeah. And then only when things got a lot more challenging, then it got me to reflect, to go a lot deeper. And another thing that really helped me was to uh, find all those little things in your life. Like this has helped me develop a more positive mindset, a mindset of abundance, is to reflect daily on what are the little things in your life that I'm grateful for.
Mm,
And it could be as simple as having food on your plate today. It could be a stranger that made you smile. It could be having that client who truly appreciated you. You know, all these small little things. Um, Focusing on these positive things going on in your life rather than all those problems. And when you look at problems, rather than just complaining about the problem, I realized the best way to go about a problem or a challenge is to focus on the solution. Like, what can I do about this? Like, how
Mm.
can I get out of this problem? And this has helped me to improve my personal mindset as well as my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of that, you mentioned this before, is it's also knowing when to ask for help and knowing that there are people around you that want to help you, which is another incredibly important principle, that be really clear on who you choose to have around you as your support network.
Yes. One more thing I realized when speaking to a lot of business owners today and looking at my own journey is that a lot of us business owners, we tend to hop from one thing to another, or even within one business, we tend to think we need to have so many different offers and so many different things going on to be successful. But what I realized is that there are so many successful people out there who just start off with a very good clarity and focus and just having one really good offer
Mm,
and just doing all they can to promote it. And there are even people I know who just focused on one social media channel. I'm not doing that. I'm on multiple platforms still, but I'm not sure if you have heard. There's this guy called Justin Welsh. He's pretty famous on LinkedIn. He
yeah.
just focused on LinkedIn and doing a LinkedIn course, and he made over $1 million. He's very happy with his life. He's having work-life balance, and many of us, we are trying to do so many things and just like making ourselves overwhelmed and also not achieving that level of success that we are aiming for. So having that clarity and that direction is so important. And one of the things that can help you to get there, I've noticed, is to really spend a couple of minutes, maybe a few times a day, if you can, to really connect with being thankful for all the things you have in your life, as well as seeking for that clarity, for that answers from whatever you call it, right? Like, you don't need to call it God. You can just
Mm.
call it like a higher power, or something above us, um, to find those answers. And I
Mm.
think this really helps because it slows you down and it gives you more perspective and appreciation. Yeah.
And I think what you're talking about there is really important, because often what we do as business owners, as salespeople, as corporate people, we often focus on what we don't have, and particularly in corporates, I've seen this happen where a sales team might be behind in their sales target. There's this big gap. And so all the focus is on closing the gap. It's focusing on what you don't have, versus if we flip that and say, what do we have right now? What can we focus on? What can we control? That's where you start to get those ideas. So being not so much happy with where you're at in life, but being grateful for what you do have, and focusing on those versus focusing on what we don't have. And interesting, you mentioned various different social channels, and whether it be LinkedIn or others, there's a lot of marketing out there that talks about, well, if you want to be quote unquote successful, this is how you need to look, or this is what you have to do. So that creates confusion in the marketplace as well. So asking those questions of yourself are really, really important, but also comes back to having those people close to you and asking those people for advice and for guidance, and sometimes just being a
Oh,
sounding
yes.
board.
Talking about that, having mentors has really helped me. Um, like this year, I even engaged a business coach. So that help is another thing that can help you find your direction, a bit more clarity to what you're doing. And the only thing is that whoever the mentor or the coach that you engage, make sure that they are doing something that you want to be doing, or
Mm.
you aspire to be, right? They are someone you aspire to be, then that's the best way that you can find a coach who's suitable for you.
Absolutely. And do your due diligence. Do you
Absolutely.
interview them, challenge them. So absolutely. So that leads me to the second part before we jump into SEO is identifying the unique value proposition. So just I do a lot of work with sales teams and sales organizations, helping them to understand what that value proposition is so they can bring something unique to the marketplace. You mentioned before that it was really difficult for you in the t-shirt printing business to try and understand what that was, right? And what was unique. When you now look at what you do today and reflecting back on the businesses that you have had, did you have a process you went through, or what was the thinking process that you used to try and understand what is it that is unique about us that would potentially attract a marketplace to the services or the offerings that we can provide?
So the difference between the businesses I started in the past and right now is that in the past I started with product first, right? Even though we did some sort of like survey for my t-shirt printing, I mean for that notebook customization thing, it was more like a tick,
Yeah.
check box survey. It wasn't
Yeah.
really like getting to know my target audience deeply and understanding their needs fully well. And yeah, so I started with product first, and then we were cracking our minds like what is unique that we could put into the product that customers might want to pay for. So we even tried wrapping our t-shirts in like eco-friendly craft packaging, and make it look a bit stylish. But yeah, those were not the target audience we were attracting. And for this SEO business itself, I reversed that whole order, and I started with talking to my potential customers. So I didn't just like put out a product and start selling. I started with talking to potential business owners who have explored SEO, and I have done so many iterations to my program right from the start until now to make my unique value proposition stronger. So one example is when I launched my Strategic SEO Academy program. Initially, I had launched it as a do-it-yourself course, but with one-on-one coaching with me.
Mhm.
But then what I realized was that many of these business owners, they don't have the time to watch like 5 modules and like multiple sub-modules, and on top of that, they need to pick up a new skill from scratch. Like SEO involves strategy. There's strategy involved in the keyword research and coming up with the article topics, and even the link building and many aspects of SEO. So I thought, okay, you know what? Like business owners, they're not going to have the time to really come up with the best strategy for their business. And they have so many things on their plate. So why not I do all the strategic SEO work for them? And I don't want to be an agency, so I don't want to do all the work for you because I want to keep it affordable for the small business owner as well. So I'll do all the strategic work for you. And then for the non-strategic parts or parts that I think you can do better than me, then I will tell you exactly what you need to do. So I improved it into a done with you program.
Mhm.
So I think probably like I haven't heard. So I've heard of do it yourself like courses. I've heard of like done for you like agencies. They just do it for you. They charge you a couple of $1,000s a month.
Yeah.
But my program is in between, and that's our unique selling point right now. That
Yeah.
the business owner, they don't have to like watch all my modules, sub modules, and everything. They only need to watch the very important parts I direct their attention to, and they don't have to do all the SEO work themselves. I'm going to do the major chunk and the most strategic chunk of it so that they can see the results.
Yeah.
And because of this, like because it's a done with you program, even after the program ends, they're going to know what went on, right? Like during that whole program, they're gonna know what happened, how they managed to start ranking. They're gonna understand like SEO so much better, and that is going to put them in a better place to maintain these Google rankings themselves if they choose to.
Hmm.
Whereas if they engage an agency, and the agency probably is not going to tell what they're doing for your SEO, and after that contract ends, you are left in the dark.
Yeah.
You don't know how to maintain the rankings, and if you stop paying the agency every month, then you can't. I mean, you don't know what to do.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So you reversed it from leading with product to now talking to prospective customers, and then almost not
iterate
so much retrofitting, but building it based on that feedback in terms of what your ideal customer profile wanted and was looking for.
exactly. And as I was building it, I was like talking to my customers and looking at their progress, and I was thinking, hey, you know what? Like isn't this a bit slow? Like just to get the keywords out, it's taking so long. Like why not I just do it for them? Yeah. So as I built the program, I started iterating and improving on it.
Yeah. So anything else that you would give advice to around creating your, unique value prop, other than what you've done in terms of speaking with customers and getting real market feedback?
I think another thing that you can probably do is look at what is probably already out there. And then right now there's a lot of data, like even on like even in SEO keyword research tools, you can see what people are searching for, and you can go and search that keyword yourself and see whether like there is like what people are searching for they're getting, or are there gaps in that you can fill in, right?
Mm.
So that's another way. So look at data and look at what's already out there. Look for inspiration. As you travel, or when you find problems, and then think how you can solve that problem with a unique approach.
Yeah. And that's it's as you're talking, it sounds so basic, so common sense, and that's not being disrespectful, but
Yeah,
it's often, I think, we as business people and perhaps as salespeople as well try to overcomplicate stuff
yeah,
and think, you know what, it can't be this simple. It can't be this easy. It's got to be something. We have to be more strategic. We have to use bigger words or more complex systems or whatever the case might be. It's
exactly,
as simple as, if there's a problem out there, can you articulate the problem? Does the problem need to be solved? Does the problem want to be solved? And do you have a potential solution to that problem that can get the person from where they are to where they want to be in the quickest time possible?
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And
Right.
and that's what I was sharing earlier as well. Sometimes we think that, oh, the more busy we get, like the more successful we can be, or something like that. But sometimes it's the opposite, right? You need to slow down, and you need to look at, okay, what is the problem? What is my unique value proposition, and how am I solving it? How am I gonna like impress my customers? And then market that, right? And sometimes even without marketing, if your product is so good, your customers are going to spread spread the marketing for you. They're going to do it
It
for you.
will. Because that's referral marketing, and referrals are the strongest form of business because they're pretty much warm leads or sometimes hot leads that are coming in. So let's sort of pivot now and talk about 5 steps to building a consistent and low cost lead generation system. So one of the overarching questions, I'd love you to take us through the 5 steps, but one of the overarching questions I always have with SEO is, man, Senthil, it's such a slow burn. It's like this is going to take years for me to get to number one on Google. I mean, surely there's got to be a quicker, more efficient way to get like front of mind in my customers' eyes. Surely. What do you say to that? Because you've built a business around this.
Okay, so before I even go into the speed, I would like to ask you a question, okay? Um,
Please.
which will kind of unlock like SEO for you. Like you will totally understand like how SEO works after I ask you a couple of questions. So I just want you to put yourself in Google's shoes. Okay. You know how Google makes money, right?
Probably from advertising.
Exactly, right? Google advertising. And if you are Google and you want to make more money from Google advertising, then what do you need?
You need lots of customers.
And customers, meaning business owners advertising with Google.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and before business owners advertise with Google, what do you need? Like, why would business owners want to advertise with Google?
Well, need to have a solution or a product or something to provide the marketplace.
Yeah, but what does Google need before business owners will spend their money with Google?
Oh, they need to have a solution.
And solution, like, well, what is the solution that Google has? Like, why do
Well, if you look at Google, they've got a well, it's the biggest search engine, right?
yes, people are searching, right? They need
Yeah.
users. So if Google wants to make more money from Google advertising, it needs more people searching on Google.
Searching stuff, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it needs people searching on Google, or it needs people to be spending more time on Google and trusting Google to give them the best results.
Mm.
So, based on this, based on the fact that Google wants to maximize its money from Google advertisements and Google wants to attract a lot of users to search on its platform, then how do you think Google will choose content to rank on Google page one?
Uh, it'll be well, it'll be based on the the words that are searched the most, surely.
So if let's say that someone is searching for um, like sales leadership training on Google, right? Or maybe they're searching for how to improve my sales skills on
Mm.
Google, right? What kind of content will Google want to show them?
Well, hopefully they'll want to show them content that delivers directly to what they've asked for.
Exactly. So the first thing is Google wants to show these searchers relevant content to what they're searching for.
Mm.
That there are thousands of websites with relevant content on, for example, how to improve your sales skills.
Mm.
So what would Google choose to put on Google page one?
What would they choose?
The content doesn't just have to be relevant,
Yeah,
it has to be the most engaging,
yeah.
right? It has to be the content that when someone searches for how to improve your sales skills, they go on to the content and they go like, wow, this is exactly what I wanted. This website has everything I need.
Yeah.
And when Google is able to do this time and time again, then people are going to trust Google to
Mm.
give them the best results, and they're going to use Google more, and Google can make more money. So this is the basic fundamental of SEO. And if in any of the steps that I share with you, if you get stuck, you just got to go back to the fundamentals and put yourself in Google's shoes, and you'll get the answer. And this is the first step. And the second step itself is the keyword research part. And I remember you were asking about it taking ages to rank on Google, right?
Mm.
So there's a part of keyword research where you can check the amount of competition that each keyword has. So if you were to find keywords that are less competitive, that means that many of your competitors are perhaps not even writing content on, then you can rank a lot faster. So I have for my own businesses, I have had keywords rank in as little as 4 months after I put out the content, and that's because these were less competitive keywords. Perhaps because it was like a service-based business that is belonging to a certain locality. Sometimes people put in like t-shirt printing Singapore, for example, or they put in a locality in that search. So
Yeah.
that reduces the competition a lot. So you can see how many people are searching for the keyword. You can check what is the competition for each keyword. You can check the profitability of the keywords as well. And this is the second step of SEO itself. And again, one of the things that I love about SEO is that even though it might seem intimidating to you that like you might take you're going to take a very long time to see the results, And I think people are more and more wanting instant gratification, right? But if you think about it in the bigger picture, um, if you manage to rank on Google, even if you rank for like 2 or 3 articles on Google, you write great content and you do the optimization part and you start ranking, then after you rank on Google, you only need to maintain these Google rankings. So it's almost like going into an extremely dirty house, and then you do a full cleaning one time, and you do a full renovation, and you make it spick and span, and you just need to maintain that clean house. It's going to be a lot easier than going into a complete mess and
Yeah.
then making it clean. But once you make it clean, then you just need to maintain the cleanliness. So same thing for Google. Um, Once you start ranking and once you start getting leads coming in, then you need to maintain the Google rankings, and it's so much easier to get leads. And the best thing is that you don't need to keep spending money, and you will free up your time and energy into other areas of your business when you have a consistent stream of leads coming in at a low cost.
Mm.
So that is like the best part about investing in SEO, because you are investing in a long-term strategy for your business that might be challenging at the start. Maybe the first 6 months to 1 year, I'm not saying it's going to be like a walk in the park, but after you get through that phase, it can bring you leads 1, 3, 5, 10 years down the road.
Mm.
Yeah.
As long as you
And
maintain it.
exactly. And I spoke about that art studio that closed down, um,
Yep.
that I sold. Like before I sold it, like even during COVID, even though the inquiries were less, we had inquiries. And then once COVID ended and the government lifted off the bans, we started getting more and more inquiries again. And that was because of SEO and word of mouth. We didn't have any other marketing that we had done, and I did not have to spend any time or effort into my marketing. I could spend it on other areas of my business, like finding a partner who could run the operations. And then after that, I couldn't sell my studio, but I could start another business while running my art studio, because my art studio had incoming inquiries without me having to spend time and energy into the marketing aspect of things.
Mm. Love it. Love it. So here's a question for you.
Hmm.
Um, is a keyword your own name?
Um, no. So that is a given, right? Like you want to be appearing on Google for your own name.
Yeah.
Like if it's your brand name, if someone searches SEO with Senthil, or if someone searches my company name on Google, um, if you rank for that, then I wouldn't say that you're doing SEO well. Maybe you got started in SEO, right? Like you just got like the very basics, but that's not what is going to bring you that consistent stream of leads, new leads.
Mm.
How you get new leads is when people search for information related to your product or services that you offer. So if for example, for my t-shirt printing company, we were called the Noteway, but what we wanted to be ranking for is when people are searching for t-shirt printing Singapore, then
Hmm.
we want to appear. So people who have never heard of my company, they can find me and engage my services. So this was the same when I did the art studio. People search for corporate team building activities they could do, or indoor corporate team building activities in Singapore,
Yep.
and they found our activity. So you want to be thinking of all those keywords that your product or service is related to.
Mm.
And one thing I also tell my clients and people I work with on SEO is to not just look at keywords that can make you money. You should
Yep.
also be looking a little bit at keywords that can make you the authority. So, what do I mean by that? These are called educational keywords. So earlier I gave an example, like if someone searches for how to improve their sales skills, for example, it may not necessarily be that they want to pay for a sales course or get a sales coach, but they might just be wanting more information to improve their sales skills
Mm.
themselves. And if you rank for that, then if you write a very good piece of content around it and teach them how to improve their sales skills, then you are building credibility around your brand, and you want to be ranking for that as well.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. So we've got the first two. What's the third step?
So the third step is, of course, after you get the keywords, do you want to guess? Well, what's the third step? Like after you have the keywords, what do you need to do?
Build your content around the keywords.
Exactly. You got the third step, right? And rather than just going and starting to write the content around that keyword, what I help my clients do is to plan and strategize the content. Because, like I said, this third step is what is going to differentiate you from your competitors, and what is going to uh, what you want to do in an outstanding way. Like you want to be creating outstanding content to impress people searching for that keyword and coming onto that piece of content on your website. So there are ways to do that, and one way is competitor research, and one way is speaking to your customers and understanding like what are some pieces of information that perhaps your competitors are not offering on their piece of content that you can offer to value add, and really making your website engaging, viewable. So this part, it requires a bit of strategy,
Mhm.
because from the keywords, so if I come up with a list of like 20 to 30 keywords, from those keywords I'm going to come up with the best article topics for you, and I come up with topics for you that make you stand out from your competitors. And not just the topics, I come up with the article structures for you before you begin to write the content.
Mhm.
And then you can write the content as a business owner, if you are the best person who has the domain knowledge to write the content. Or if you are in an industry where a writer can do some research and write the content, then you can give them the article topic, the structure, and you can get them to write the content.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's the third step. And the fourth step is basically, it's called on-page optimization. It might seem a bit overwhelming, but how I simplify it for people is, it is basically tweaks that you can make on your own website in line with Google's best practices. And the best thing about this is that even though Google has like close to 20 best practices, many of these best practices are already inbuilt inside many web builder platforms. For example, one best practice is making sure your content and everything on your website is mobile friendly, and that's not an issue for any website these days.
Yeah.
Another one could be website speed, and as long as you're not putting in like heavy plugins and like huge images on your website to slow your website down, then probably your website is going to load pretty smoothly. So there are many of these tweaks that you need to make at this fourth step. And the final step is link building. So link building basically refers to attracting backlinks or building backlinks from other websites to your website. So why do you need to do this? It indicates to Google that you are getting referrals from other websites to your website. So the key here is some people think that it's the quantity. They want to have many backlinks coming from many websites.
Yeah.
But that's not the point, because you want to be getting quality referrals. Like just because you're getting referrals from 1,000 people, if these 1,000 people are like pickpockets and thieves, right? It's not gonna boost your credibility or brand.
No.
So you want to be attracting these links in a sustainable way from other good quality websites. And for this, there are different link building strategies out there. So basically, these are the 5 steps. Learn the fundamentals, do the keyword research, second step. Third step, plan and create the content. Fourth step, make those tweaks on your website. And fifth step, get quality backlinks from other websites. So it isn't that complicated, right? When I break it down.
It sounds relatively uncomplicated. For a person who's just starting out, or for people who are in businesses that want to improve their um, potentially their ranking on Google, what sort of tips can you give people who are maybe SEO is relatively new to, or SEO is not their core business, they've never really thought about it? Where can a lot of people start? Is it just thinking about writing good content and thinking about the words that your customer's going to want to hear? Or is there something else?
So definitely don't start off with the content, because you want the keywords right before you go to the content. And over here, I'm going to tell you to start off with my 5-step SEO checklist. And the great thing is that it's free. It's free to download, because I know that not all businesses they are seriously looking to go into SEO yet. Maybe they just want to play around with the keywords themselves. So I came up with this 5-step SEO checklist, where I break down each step in detail so that they can try and do each step themselves and mark it off as they do it. And the very first step is, of course, after you understand the fundamentals that we covered in
Yeah.
the podcast. The very first step is the keyword research. And the best thing about keyword research is you don't need to spend money. There are so many SEO tools out there, and many of these SEO tools have free trials. So
Yeah.
what you want to do is download my checklist, make sure you understand the steps for keyword research, and um, get get this tool called Uber Suggest. They have a 7-day free trial, and get your keyword research done within those 7 days. Right? So you don't even have to pay that monthly fee, and you can get started in SEO. You can roughly get an idea of what are the keywords in your niche, what is the demand. And then if you want to take things further, and you want some strategic help, then they can also book a one-on-one evaluation call with me, where I will discuss with business owners whether SEO is a good fit for their business.
Yeah.
Because even though, from what I observed, SEO can work for many types of businesses, there are certain businesses where really I met the person on the call, and I told them, you know what, I don't think you should invest in SEO. And I can give you an example that came at the top of my mind. Recently, I spoke to a business owner in Singapore, where
Yeah.
she does personal branded photography. So she does photography for people like coaches, course creators, and people who want to build their personal brand.
Yeah.
So I asked her, and do you do other photography, like wedding photography, family photography? She said, no, I want to be focused. And I thought, yeah, that's great, right? Like, you really have a ultra specific niche. And we went into Uber Suggest, which is my keyword research tool, and I went to search for keywords like personal brand photography in Singapore, because she was also limited by location. So it
Yeah.
was in Singapore and personal brand. So we went to do the keyword research. We tried many different keywords around her niche, and there were barely like 10 searches a month, 10, 20 searches a month. And I told her, you know what? Like if you're looking at 10 searches a month for your core service, then um, probably SEO is not the best fit. Like, what you might want to be doing is doing more of Instagram and
Mm.
educating people why they should, have the best photos for their personal brand. Maybe you want to do partnerships with people who have coaches and course creators in their networks. Yeah, these might work better.
Mm.
And yeah, so this is what I recommend, right? So download the checklist, try to do some keyword research yourself, and if you need help or need some advice, then just book a one-on-one call with me, and I'll be happy to help.
Cool. So as we wrap this up, Senthil, where can people get access to that 5-step SEO checklist? And is there a website that they can connect with you as well?
Yeah. So the website that they can get the checklist is my official website as well. It's SEO with Senthil. So SEO with Senthil.com. So SENTHIL. So SEN for Norway, THIL for London. So SEOwithsenthil.com, and then they go there, they can access my checklist. And yeah, of course, they can also connect with me on my social media channels like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm on most places under the same name, SEO with Senthil. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent, awesome. Hey, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. So I've learned something.
Awesome, awesome.
So I think I might go and download that 5-step checklist now.
Yeah, you should, and give me your feedback, because I would love to hear feedback of what you think. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Senthil, absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for being on the Exceptional Sales Leader podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Darren.
Thank you for listening to the Exceptional Sales Leader podcast. I trust the information in this episode has been helpful in your journey towards becoming exceptional. And remember, please take the time to rate the show, subscribe to the show so other people can find it. But also, if I can help you, jump on my calendar, go to leadwithdarren.com, and let's have a conversation about how I can help you along your journey to being exceptional.